Interior designer Anna Correa now shows her take on creating the ultimate bedroom through a scheme she's put together for us.
So a perfect space in a home to take to the next level, I think, is a bedroom, because it's a very personalized space and it's a room that you probably want to spend a lot of time in, and a space that needs to be lush and comfortable. Some of the things to take into consideration when designing a bedroom would definitely be your interior finishes, because it also helps cocoon a space. So you want it to be a very comfortable room. It must be luxurious, a place where you're going to relax and retreat. So working with wallpapers, your window treatments, your curtaining, your bed linen is a must. And just adding in touches of color just to give it a bit of personality, but definitely going with the softer tones to create a nice, beautiful, moody space. An example of some bedroom designs that I'm currently working with at the moment, when I look at the mood board here, the design it's very clean, it's very contemporary, but also adding a touch of classic detail. So whether you bring that into your wall finishes, your bedside pedestals, and then also working a lot with lighting, using it in a clever manner in terms of like LED lights, just to have like a softer feel for the space, reading lights, hanging pendants, and just doing away with freestanding bedside lamps so that you have a clutter-free space next to your bed. More design elements that are on trend at the moment when it comes to bedrooms is the use of, well, it's always been you have a feature wall in a room, but now it's introducing design elements such as wood or paneling that just elevate the space to a more contemporary level, and creating more detail to the room and giving it more depth, and just working with more mirrors. So in terms of like implementing these design finishes, if I was to work with the slatted wood, it would definitely be one of the main features for the bedroom. But then if you wanted to create more space and depth to a room, this is where you would incorporate your mirror. And I would definitely go big, so have like two full-size ones on either side of the bed, going from the top of the bedside pedestal right through to the ceiling. It's all about elevating the room, taking it from the top of the bed right through to the ceiling. So when designing a bedroom, just in terms of like flooring, I love to work with an engineered wooden floor. I think it's really got a beautiful, soft, homely feel to the space. And then one could always layer the room with a beautiful, lush bamboo silk rug. It's also great for the acoustics of the space. It grounds the space as well. And in terms of the wall finishes, for coloring, I always like to work with a neutral base, and then again, layer the walls and cocoon the space with some beautiful wallpaper. I love working with wallpaper, especially the textured ones. I generally go for the softer tones and nothing too dramatic. If I did want to go for a moody space, and I would probably go with the dark tones and the naturals of the greys and the blacks. With regards to application of the wallpaper, I would either wallpaper the entire room to cocoon the space, or I would choose two walls in the room that would kind of anchor and corner the room to give it still that warmth and cocooning feel. Another important thing for a bedroom are the window treatments. There's many things that you can use to treat a window. You can do American shutters if you want something which is cool and contemporary. A lot of people like to have curtaining, or I like using curtaining because it definitely adds a softer feel to a space. I like fresh and airy and simplistic. So generally, on most of the schemes that I do, I would go with a sheer curtain, which I would probably line in a lining. Alternatively, you can always have a sheer curtain with a main curtain fabric. And this also just adds, if you want a little bit more of glam for the space, like going with the main curtain with a bit of sheen to the space, can be very glamorous. And this is where you can add some color in, because on the sheer fabric, I would probably go neutral. And if I wanted to add like a pop, you could go with a color on the main curtain. In terms of furniture for the bedroom, obviously the main mega piece is going to be your bed. And you're going to start with your bed, and generally the big trend at the moment is to have bed sets. So you've got a beautiful headboard that's got a nice detail to it, with a bed base where the mattress is actually sunk in. You can fold your linen into it. And then I would work with beautiful, I generally like to work with velvet for the main piece. I think it's very lush and it can still be very contemporary. Or if you don't want to go with the velvet, you can go with a chunky linen. And then when you bring in detail to the bed is actually when you start having fun with like your bedside pedestals, or if you want to implement the mirror into the space. A big trend at the moment is we're doing away from the silver mirror and we're actually working with smoky mirror. It's a lot more warmer, creates a lot more depth. You can also go for a smoky mirror which has an antique finish to it, so it's not just a plain mirror on the wall. And here, you know, if you're using wooden floors, again, this is where you can bring in the wood on on the design element for the bedside pedestals. We can work with the stone or natural wood for a wall panel if you want. And this becomes like the main power piece in the room. So I think like in terms of working with the basis for any like space or a bedroom, it's nice to go with like your neutral colors, you know, and then you can layer it with accents. So this could be in terms of your scatter cushions. This is where you can have fun with like lots of different types of textures, different patterns, different types of color. You can also have fun with your bed linen as well. Always go for high quality bed linen is my thing. And an added layer to your bed linen could be a beautiful throw. So overall, my idea of a beautiful elevated bedroom would be always to remember comfort, relaxation, definitely think about the type of textures you're going to use within the space, the fabrics that you're going to use on your headboard and your bed base, the type of bed linen you're going to use. It's very important because this is a space which you're going to retreat to and you need to love it. So it's got to be a beautiful, warm, inviting room.